Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inaugural edition of Mr. G's Sports Histories here on Heart of Ohio Sports, right here in beautiful, historic downtown Tiffin, Ohio. I'm looking at myself on the screen, trying to figure out a way to make myself look a little less lumpy. But, beggars can't be choosers in this regard. Tonight's topic is basketball, and basketball and I have had a very interesting relationship over the years. It was the one sport, literally the one sport, where I didn't hate practice. Hated every minute of football practice. Loved the brotherhood, loved the bond, but basketball, couldn't wait to get there, couldn't wait to play the games, couldn't wait to practice. So naturally, when junior high came, I joined the wrestling team because, logic. And never played for Columbian basketball-wise. Certainly probably would not have made the team, would have been like the 15th man on the 15-man bench. But I got into playing again in college and wound up losing quite a bit of weight after I stopped playing football. And I would play for just hours at a time, just absolutely loved it. I'd play in pickup games and everything was going swimmingly until I played against one of my best friends to this day, gentleman by the name of Ryan Hartshoe. He was our punter, played some running back, defensive back. We were football teammates, and we played a one-on-one game, and I forgot he's the most competitive person on the planet. So he went to grab a rebound, stomped on my foot. I went to grab the rebound. My foot stayed in the same place while my body kept going. So metatarsal number 5 got ripped right off the bone, and it was a little on the painful side, but I did go to work that night as a bouncer, if you can believe that, Greggy. I wasn't very intimidating with my crutches and my little footsie up on the on a stool, but by golly, I didn't miss a shift.
I'm sure you still got the job done.
Yeah, I really did, and I know I've shared this with my kids before, but. Whenever the gentlemen would get into tussles or get into arguments, usually you put some bass in your voice and that'd be the end of it. But when you had two females duke it out, my goodness. At that time, I'm probably about 280, give or take. And the other bouncer with me this one particular evening is a gentleman by the name of Keith Vance. Keith was the throws coach at Tiffin University, All-American shot put thrower for the College of Worcester, and we were taking up a big old thing of beer bottles, and all of a sudden, spear, and there's a big old pile in a big old bush. So Keith and I try to pull these two apart, and we are having absolutely no luck. Boyfriends try to hop in. We're chucking them all over the place, and finally, we wrench them apart. But man, you want to talk about a death grip. They were out for blood, out for absolute blood. Now, haven't played a lot of basketball since, and in fact, didn't even really watch a lot of basketball for a time until I had the opportunity to transition to announcing for Tiffin Columbian basketball. And I am on my second season being the voice of Tornadoes basketball, and I also assisted with the Lady Tornadoes program for a season. And it is one of my favorite, and it's strange to say, but I actually, Greg, if you can believe this, I prefer calling basketball games to football games.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, and football I just love, but you're so close, right there, courtside, watching everything happen, and you have to stay focused. And sometimes my mind goes a gazillion miles a minute, and for those 2 hours, even though it's some pressure, and you really have to pay attention, it's the most relaxed I'd be almost for the entire week, because all I had to do was watch this beautiful game be played. And Coach Kinn's squad was just such a joy to watch this year with that great senior class. And, Logan Beeston, they had 2 players crack the 1,000 point mark this year with Logan and Bryce. And to go along with LJ Reeves, my premier season, working with basketball. And this segment, I'm going to talk about a couple of different time periods. We're actually going all the way back to 1913. And you might think to yourself, geez, what are you going to talk about? The flood, Mr. Gillig? No, I'm not going to talk about the flood. In fact, we're not even going to be in Ohio. We're going to Culver, Indiana. You ever been there, Greggy?
I have not.
Yeah, me either. I don't really know much about Indiana other than there wasn't much of a speed limit. I think I was going about 90 miles an hour, and I was just getting passed like a tortoise on the side of the road. Definitely different from Ohio. I remember rolling back into Ohio once from Indiana, and they were just state troopers lined up at the border, just waiting. And we're going all the way back to 1913, Culver, Indiana. And like most great sports stories, it starts with a guy by the name of Suze. Do we have any pictures of Suze that we could show here, Greg? His actual name's Herman, but he went by the name Suze. So this is Herman Suze Sager. And if we have any of our older listeners here on Heart of Ohio Sports listening in, you may remember Sager's studio here in downtown Tiffin. But in 1913, he is a junior at Culver High School. Now, this is an era where there's no shot clock and there's a jump ball after every basket made. Now, Greg, he is going to score what most people believe is a national record for points in a contest. Would you care to guess how many he scored in 1913?
It was a record then?
It was.
Oh, geez. I'm just going to say 45, random guess.
It is double and more. He scored 113 points in one game.
Wow.
In an era with no shot clock and a jump ball after each possession. So I'm not sure if the entire starting lineup of the opposing team was sick and he was playing against the reserve squad, or if he was just that dominant, clearly that dominant. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of accounts of the game, but Mr. Sager is going to go on to Heidelberg University, where he'll play both football and basketball. He'll serve as a coach at Heidelberg. He's going to get out of coaching at the age of 35, and he's going to found basically a business empire. He's going to do quite a bit of commercial printing. In fact, he's going to publish guidebooks for just about all over the Midwest, football rule books. He'll do programs, had camera equipment, just lots of different items. But before he hangs up the coaching whistle, he organizes an exhibition while serving as the AD at Heidelberg. And it pits the Tiffin Columbian Cagers against the junior home. It's March of 1932. And it is said that Mr. Sager introduced what has become an indispensable part, certainly of the NBA game and certainly at the high school level even, on that very night. Greg, any guesses what Mr. Sager introduced in that contest between the junior home and Tiffin Columbian?
Foul shots.
Foul shots is a great guess. It is actually the three-pointer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he is credited by many as the inventor of the three-point shot. And he also eliminated the jump ball after each contest, or after each made shot, eliminated the jump ball. But wasn't much of a barn burner that night. Didn't really light up the scoreboard. Columbian won, which, go TC, but they won 21-19. So I don't know how many threes were made that game. The accounts say that most everybody just kept throwing the ball inside because that's just what you did. You fed the big man inside, and you got your baskets, and you took your chances on the jump ball, and you just kind of rolled from there. Now I got another trivia question for you here, Greg. 1996 was when the first Tiffin tornado reached the 1,000-point plateau on the hardwood. Any guesses as to who that was?
That's just before my time. I don't know enough names from back then.
So what's real interesting is her son did it this year.
Really?
Yeah, Angie Beeston, Angie Beard, Tiffin Columbian graduate. She scores her 1,000th point in 1996 against Bellevue. Sorry, Coach Lutz, against the Bellevue Redmen. She's going to be one of the earlier inductees into the Tiffin Columbian Hall of Fame, joins in the class of 2004, goes on to enjoy a spectacular career at Baldwin Wallace University. A 4-year letter winner for the Yellow Jackets, was inducted into their Hall of Fame in 2010. And she has done a lot of coaching kind of behind the scenes. She does a lot of the youth basketball. She's got a couple of daughters that are coming up. And, obviously she's been in the gym her whole life with, being married to Coach Beeston and then having, probably one of the premier players in Northwest Ohio as a son. And, it's really cool to see that, mother and son both cracking the 1,000-point barrier here in Little Tiffin, Ohio. Now, we had gone off to Culver, Indiana to start tonight, and we're going to transition from Culver, Indiana to Pittsford, Michigan. Now, I've never been to Pittsford, Michigan, but we have a rather distinguished alumni of the Pittsford Wildcats that will be joining our community this coming year, which I'm very excited because the pedigree on this individual is pretty spectacular. I'm going to read you some stats here. Their high school record on the hardwood was 103-2. 103-2. So that is 103 wins against 2 losses in their high school career. 3 straight appearances in the Michigan State Basketball Finals, and a back-to-back state champion. Running the point for the Wildcats was a multiple first-time all-state, all-region, all-league selection, and they will go on to Hillsdale. At Hillsdale, they're going to start 84 of 107 collegiate contests. If you're unfamiliar, Hillsdale is a Division II school. Now, I played at Division III, and the quality of athletes there was pretty neat to see, pretty neat to be a part of. I can't even imagine the caliber of athletes at Division II, and I certainly can't imagine what it would be like to line up against someone from a D1 school, a big-time school.
Freakishly good athletes.
Freakish. So this person ran the point. Now, we've all seen the value of a great point guard, somebody who can just run the offense and someone who can just make their teammates look so good. And this person did that at an elite level, and they're going to be coming to Tiffin. They're going to be joining the faculty of Tiffin Columbian High School, where they'll be teaching science, and they will be leading the Lady Tornadoes on the court this season. This is J.C. Berger. Coach J.C. Berger is going to be joining the Tiffin City Schools family as a high school science teacher, also the girls basketball coach. And I think it's pretty neat because we're getting somebody from an excellent D2 school, somebody who's practically almost royalty, it seems like, in high school basketball in the state of Michigan. And she's going to be leading our squad. And there's some talent coming back, Greggy. You know, Gracie Chester, gonna be a force to be reckoned with. Lexi Smith, Dallas Paul, a number of freshmen who I think are going to contribute. Abby Felsky gained some pretty valuable experience, but it's great to have. And you know, Coach Berger, we welcome you to Tiffin. We are delighted to have you, and we look forward to seeing what you can do on the hardwood with the Lady Tornadoes basketball program.
Yeah,
Now,
you really couldn't ask for much more of an impressive resume than that. That's for sure.
No, and you know, it appears that they lost in one state final game, and then, you know, I'm just reading between the lines, 103-2. It seems like maybe they lost, you know, sometime in the playoffs, and then it appears they lost in a state championship. And beyond that, you know, Coach Berger did not lose a game. And with that, you know, there's going to be real high expectations for her. Personally, I would imagine. I've gotten to speak with her a little bit on text. You know, hope to have her on the show in the near future. But this is someone who is a winner, and this is someone who chose to come to Tiffin, Ohio from Michigan. And it just shows what a great community we have here. You know, what great people we have at TCS. And I'm really looking forward to basketball starting. I know Coach Kinn's about going out of his mind at this point, but they're pretty thick into the summer leagues. We've got the Rogos making noise, Logan Beeston, of course, making noise for the Tornadoes, and you know, it's just the future's bright, Greggy. Future's bright.
Oh, absolutely. Now,
when you were growing up, what was your go-to sport?
I've always been a football guy.
Always been a football guy.
Yeah.
See, for me, now, were you a Browns fan, I'm hoping?
Yep.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah. Oh, boy, Greggy, I don't know about the Brownies. I'm a bit on the nervous side, just with everything happening, you know, with the quarterback situation, and you know, I don't know what's going to come of it. And you know, I'm all for second chances. I really am. You know, I'm all for the legal process playing itself out, but it's really not a good look for the Browns. And you know, this is a franchise that has not had a good look since we came back in 1999. And it's a little bit worrisome, but Jacoby Brissett, you know, ought to be able to step in if need be. That's the backup, correct?
Yeah, I believe he'll be the backup.
That's like his fifth team he's been a backup on. But remember the third string NFL quarterbacks back in the day that just had the hats and the clipboard, and they weren't even really allowed to go into the game, or if they went in, they couldn't come out, or something bizarre like that.
I had to spend 5 minutes looking for their helmet.
Yeah. It's just like, where's my helmet? I didn't even bring one. These shoulder pads are fake. You know, this is all just a facade. Now, later on this week, we've got Mulling It Over. We've got The Pulse. And coming up, I believe it's this Wednesday, correct, Greggy? We have the Over Under podcast with Joey Krajewski.
Yep, I'm pretty sure Wednesday it's the first episode.
Now, to really just kind of sum up for the evening, we're going with a short one this evening. New coach at Tiffin Columbian, replacing Coach Cooper. Coach Cooper, magnificent human being. Taught with her for my entire professional career. Just think of all the impact she's made in the community. You know, generations of moms and successful individuals. Just you know, I think about the impact of coaches all the time, and you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm helping out here with Nate and with you guys is you guys really did a whole heck of a lot to really promote our kids, you know, through WTTF, your time there, and now giving it a go on Heart of Ohio. It's a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful thing to see. But I think about coaching all the time. And as you know, Greggy, I had a pretty rough go of it health-wise for the longest time. I was one of the unfortunate souls that really battled the long COVID effects. And, I just desperately wanted to get back to school. I wanted to go back and I wanted to see the kids, and I almost couldn't be reasoned with, just I'm going back. And well, Ben, your blood pressure is 180 over 140, you're not going anywhere. But no, I'm going back. I can do it. I got to be there for the kids. And to bring it full circle, what got me to finally accept that I wasn't doing well, I needed time to heal, was talking to Coach Gilbert, my high school football coach, Hall of Famer, inducted last year into the Tiffin Columbian Hall of Fame, inducted into the Ohio Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame, long-time career at Tiffin Columbian, 17 seasons at the helm. And he came up to me, and I was just filling him in. He was asking how I was doing, and I told him, I said, Coach, I got to get back there. I got to be with the kids. And he looked at me and he said, Benny, the kids are going to be fine. You got to worry about your kids. You got to worry about your sons. You got to worry about your wife. You got to worry about your health. And, he hasn't been my coach since I was 18 years old. Has not been my coach. I worked for him my first few years in Tiffin City schools, but the fact that he said that made it click and made me realize, okay, Ben, you got to focus on you. And, I think about just that impact that coaches have. And, we're so fortunate to have people like Coach Berger and, Coach Cooper, who's been doing it at a high level for 30 some odd years across 3 different sports. And just, it's pretty cool, because I think if you do the math, it works out to something like 3 cents an hour or something just absolutely ridiculous. More of a lifestyle than anything. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mr. G's Sports Histories here on Heart of Ohio Sports. We'll be back again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Or thereabouts. And we thank you, and good night from downtown Tiffin.